Hey guys, Josh at Alpine XC. We're just running over a quick way to check your sag here. Sag's an important piece to the chassis setup and how the bike handles. So you do want to check it, and it's a simple way if you haven't brought your suspension in to be tuned for you guys to have some opportunity to set it up correctly and get it balanced out for you. What we're going to do is start with the bike on the stand here. And what we'll do is take a measurement from the center of the axle up to the fender here. Some bikes you'll notice there's a fender mark that says sag. That's just a reference point. It doesn't have to be a hard and fixed position. So what you'll do is get your tape measure, and we're a dirt bike shop, so we always work in metrics. And we're using just right here a vertical line from the center of the axle here. We're looking right at 600 millimeters. After that, we're going to take two different sag measurements, rider sag and static sag. The rider sag is the reference between the weight of the rider and his gear and how much the bike settles with that weight. The static sag is what the bike itself and how it settles under the weight from there. So we'll take it off the stand, and we're going to take two more measurements now. All right, what we have here is the bike is supported under its own weight. This is going to give us a reference point for the static sag. We're going to take that same measurement again from the center of the axle to that mark on the fender. Right here we're looking at 558 millimeters of static sag. Okay, the next measurement we're going to do is we're going to pull the rider sag. In order to pull rider sag, we're going to have the bike supported under its weight. We're going to put the rider on in gear. And we're also going to have the measurement being taken. All right, for the last measurement, we're going to have the rider typically in their full gear. Here's just an example of gauge here in the shop. And what we're going to do is take that measurement again, center of the axle, right up here, nice vertical stretch. And here we're looking at 510 millimeters. The sag we're looking for on most of the bikes is around 105 millimeters, and it will change between different bikes and different setups. 107 to 110 is a common one we use on these KTM bikes. So we're going to get it adjusted up to try and get closer to that. All right, in order for us to get the sag into that 105 millimeter spec instead of the 90 that we were measuring, we're going to back some preload off of this shock spring. There's two ways we can do this, and we like to go the easier route here. We've got an X-Trig preload adjuster on this bike, so all we do is have to hit it with an 8 millimeter, and we can back out preload with our ratchet. Okay, as we back this up, this is going to screw up the shock body, and by screwing up, it's going to remove some of that preload. At that point, we'll get the bike back down, put the rider back on until we get that measurement right to the 105 or to 107 range that we're looking for here. If the static sag is outside of that 35 millimeter rough range, we're going to look at putting him on a heavier or a lighter spring to compensate for that. If you have your traditional preload collar set up, you're going to get out your screwdriver and your hammer, and you're going to want to have it up off the ground, and you can smack it around to tighten or loosen that preload. So the X-Trig is just an accessory we like to speed up the process and make it easier to do at home. All right, now we're at 495 millimeters. That gives us a sag of about 105 millimeters. Now this chassis should set balance and make us ready for the next step to go continue to set clickers as we ride the bike and get it balanced in how it travels through the flow.